Audio quality is often behind video quality in the YouTuber list of priorities, but some say that it's actually more important. What do you find worse, a terrible looking video or a terrible sounding video? Which one would you rather put up with over 10 minutes? Hopefully today I can help you with your audio because I'm comparing 4 budget microphones. Up first we have the Rode VideoMicro, the MOVO VXR-10 Pro, the JOBY Wavo Mobile and the Sairen VMQ-1. Yes, there are more budget microphones out there, but these are the 4 that I have. So let's get on with it, starting with indoor performance. So when it comes to audio quality, you're going to get very different results depending on where you record. And since this video is aimed at beginners or those just starting out with their channels, I'm going to record all of the indoor tests in my bedroom because the bedroom is the holy grail of YouTuber starting spaces. Okay, I'm in my bedroom and this is the Sony a7 III's built-in microphone. The camera is just slightly over arm's length away, move it a little bit closer so now it's arm's length away as if I'm holding the camera out in front of me, something like that. And the levels on the Sony a7 III, the audio levels are set to 7. So this is the built-in microphone. Hopefully this is the worst I will sound today, and I'm literally just in a bog standard room. I've made no effort whatsoever to soundproof it or improve the audio, anything like that. It's literally just bog standard bedroom. So now I'm going to attach each of the microphones in turn. Very easy to do. They all come with a cold shoe mount, universal standard cold shoe mount, should attach to any hot shoe on any DSLR or mirrorless camera, and they all come with a TRRS to TRRS cable. It looks like this, and I'll go into the differences between the TRRS to TRRS cable a little bit later on. Very, very important when you vlog with your phone, when you film with your phone. So now let's start swapping out these microphones. So this is the Rode VideoMicro. Hopefully you can hear a difference. The camera is in the exact same position. The levels are the exact same, set to 7. And the VideoMicro is it's the most expensive microphone here. I found prices online ranging between like £49 to £59. I got mine on eBay for £49 a couple of years ago in 2019. And it also came with the SC7 cable, which is one of those TRRS cables I was telling you about before. But more on those later when I test out the mics with my smartphone. And this is the JOBY Wavo Mobile. It's the second most expensive microphone here at around £35. And it's the one that I've acquired most recently. I tested it as part of the GorillaPod mobile vlogging kit, and it performed really well, particularly outdoors. And when I get to the outdoor section, you'll see how the shock mount and the quality of the cable and the quality of these wind guards really come in. But right now this is the JOBY Wavo Mobile. And speaking of wind guards, all the microphones are currently just wearing the standard wind guard that they came with. So they all come like this, so wind guard, dead cat, wind sock, whatever you want to call it. So this is the MOVO VXR-10 Pro. This is around £30, and this is a microphone that I actually replaced my Rode with. So throughout my YouTube video making time, I used the Rode VideoMicro. I recently switched to the MOVO. I use the MOVO for my podcast as well, and I really like it. And lastly, at £25, the least expensive microphone here, we have the Sairen VMQ-1. I got this Sairen as part of Ulanzi's vlog kit, but you can buy it separately for £25. So it is the cheapest microphone here. Originally, I wanted to test the Husky Vision. I think it's the UVMS or UVSM microphone, but I couldn't find that microphone available individually. You had to have it as part of a Husky Vision vlog kit. So it's not in this comparison. Instead, just the ones that I'm going through here today. So this is the Sairen VMQ-1. So now I'm going to put the microphones a lot closer to me because I'm booming them over to my face. They're literally, well, the Rode VideoMicro is literally just here, just off the frame. And it sounds fancy, you know, booming the mic, but it's not. It's literally just a microphone on a pole, and that's it. And it's a very cheap boom arm. It doesn't have to be expensive because the microphones are very light, obviously. And you need a cable. I paid like £2, something like that, for this cable on eBay, again, a couple of years ago. It's been absolutely fine. So this is the Rode VideoMicro boomed over to me. Again, the levels are at 7. And something to keep in mind with these boom poles is that they often use a 3/8 screw mount. So this is a bit larger than the standard 1/4 inch screw mount that most of these microphones come with. The only one that actually comes with a 3/8 mount is the Rode VideoMicro. So what I'm going to have to do for this test is use the mount that came with the Rode VideoMicro and just swap the mics out. And I'm going to have to swap the cables out as well, because these cables may look identical, but when you try and use Joby's cable with MOVO, for example, the sound just doesn't work. So just be careful of that if you find yourself swapping cables around and stuff. And this isn't cheating or anything, using the Rode mount with the other microphones. It just happens to be the gear that I've got. This was my setup for a good couple of years. And if I'm switching to the MOVO full time, let's see at the end of this video which one comes out on top. I would obviously invest in a more appropriate mount for this for this microphone. So let's start switching out these mics. This has been the Rode VideoMicro. So this is the JOBY Wavo Mobile. Again, levels are set to 7. It is literally just off the frame. And the reason that this comparison is able to work, the reason I'm able to swap the microphones with the Rode mount, is because all the designs are pretty much the same. So that's great for me, great for compatibility, universality, standardization. So let's get into the next microphone. And this is the MOVO VXR-10 Pro, and I think you should be able to definitely hear, I know you'll definitely be able to hear a difference between the mics being boomed and the microphones when they were on the camera. And it's a good idea to do a little bit of cost comparison like I'm doing today, because this MOVO, for example, is £30. You got the Rode at like £49, so that's almost like a £20 difference. That £20 could get you a boom arm and a cable to massively improve the quality. But it's not all about the indoor quality, it's about the outdoor quality as well. Very important. So let's see how the Sairen performs and then we'll go outside. So this is the Sairen VMQ-1. Again, this is the least expensive microphone, but it's only like £5 cheaper than the MOVO, but it feels and it looks like it's a hell of a lot cheaper. It feels like £10–15 cheaper. But does it sound £10 to £15 cheaper? Let's find out. Again, you may not be able to hear that much of a difference in this situation, but the second you bump the mic, the second you introduce maybe some wind or some popping noises, then you really get to hear the difference in the quality. Hey, David here, interrupting myself. How dare I? Just to quickly remind you that I now have channel memberships. I have 3 tiers and they are all less than a cup of coffee. A cup of coffee? Jeez. One of them is bloopers. The other one is outtakes and bloopers. And the final one is outtakes, bloopers, and early access videos. Again, all less than a cup of coffee, apparently. So if that sounds good to you, then feel free to check them out. If you can't afford to support me financially, absolutely fine. Watching the video till the end and liking and commenting the video. Commenting on the video, Jesus, these bloopers are going to be good. It's going to help me out a lot as well. Now, back to the video. Now, I'm not an audio expert whatsoever. I'm but a humble YouTuber simply comparing these microphones for you. So any commentary or analysis that I have on these microphones is purely my opinion. It's not coming from any sort of audiophile scientific background whatsoever. It's going to be a very layman commentary. So with the mics on the camera, out of the 4 of them, the Rode VideoMicro sounded the best to me. My voice just sounds deeper, richer, and more fuller, whereas the others seem to have a bit of emptiness or lightness to them, if that makes sense. But in fairness, to untrained ears like mine, the difference is extremely subtle, and I can only hear or discern any sort of difference when I listen to the clips back to back to back with my Sony Studio Monitor headphones on. But when I process the audio, then the differences get a bit more obvious. After processing, the winner for me becomes clear. The VideoMicro just sounds so much richer and fuller compared to the others. Just keep in mind that I processed my audio with presets. I use Matti Haapoja's audio presets and I literally just drag and drop them onto the track, and I don't make any further adjustments from there because I don't know how to. So each track has had the same preset applied to it, and the Rode VideoMicro works best with the preset. If I had more knowledge, I might be able to go in and get better sound out of each individual mic by tuning them individually, but I don't. So for me, the Rode works best. With the mics boomed over to me though, just like this one is now, things did get a lot better between them, a lot more closer. They sounded a lot better. And I really don't think I'd get any complaints from viewers if I boomed any of these mics over to me like this, whether it's the most expensive or the cheapest. However, when I process the audio, I want you to listen carefully for the hum. So now I'm going to put the microphones a lot closer to me because I'm booming them over to my face. They're literally, well, the Rode VideoMicro is literally just here off the frame. And the reason that this comparison is able to work, the reason I'm able to swap the microphones, and it's a good idea to do a little bit of cost comparison like I'm doing today, but it's only like £5 cheaper than the MOVO, but it feels and it looks like it's a hell of a lot cheaper. It feels like £10–15 cheaper. If you couldn't hear it over me talking, here's some comparisons in a silent room. But that hum isn't necessarily a fault with the mics. I think it's occurred because the electronics that I was filming next to, like my TV, my iPad and the TV remote, were interfering with that £2 cable that I was using. You see, when I move over to the other side of the room with no electronics, the hum has disappeared from all four mics, and it also disappears when I film next to the electronics with the mic on the camera. So keep that in mind when you're recording yourself if you do have electronics in your room, but if you can't help but recording next to them, then the Rode and the MOVO weren't as bad with that hum. So that's inside, but what if you've got a travel vlog? Okay, let's test these mics outdoors. This is the Rode VideoMicro, just mounted to the top of the Sony a7 III, just over arm's length away because I'm using the JOBY Mobile GorillaPod. So let's just simulate a travel vlog or a walking vlog or whatever, and just walk around. So this is a good test for the shock mount and the cables. So walking around, you can see the microphone vibrating, and if the wing guard at the back isn't doing a good job, even though there's no breeze, there will be just air getting in there. So this Rode wing guard, the dead cat, is a bit loose at the back. It slides on and off really easily. And if you're making like a travel vlog or a holiday vlog or something like that, then you might want to change direction quite fast. I see a lot of these, they whip around, so let's do that. Whip the camera around. Oh, I've seen something. Whip. And now let's just step over this log. Step down, a bit more vibration there. Try that again. I need to speak while I'm doing it. So keep speaking while I'm stepping down from the log, and we'll see if it affects my voice. So this is the JOBY Wavo Mobile. I already know how well this microphone performs outdoors. I've already tested it for a review of the JOBY GorillaPod mobile vlogging kit, and one of the reasons it performs so well outdoors is because the microphone, the back of the microphone's dead cat is really snug. It hugs the microphone. It's really hard to get it on and off, which is what you want. So I'm not expecting any sort of air to get in the back. And do the same thing with the Rode, change direction, and I can already see the microphone isn't bouncing around as much as the Rode did. The Rode's shock mount is a bit looser, might be. Keep in mind that I've had it a little bit longer, could be that, but for me it's always felt a bit loose. Now they all have something called Rycote Lyre technology, which is supposed to be like this anti-vibration technology, so the sound caused by vibration doesn't, or the vibrations shouldn't interrupt the sound, basically. So they all have that built in, apart from the Sairen's shock mount. So let's see. And this is the MOVO VXR-10 Pro. So this one I'm expecting to do the least well, because the wind sock is just by far the loosest. It's like it is like a sock, really, just like a sock that's too big for your foot. It just slides on and off really easily. It's always falling off when the microphone's slanted downwards, so plenty of opportunity for air to get in there. Now it does have the same shock mount. It appears to be almost identical to the Wavo mobiles, so it's I'm expecting good performance there. The cable feels robust as well, not as robust as the Rhodes or the Jobys, but it feels okay. Better than the Sairens anyway. But it's just that wind sock, and plus the MOVO is by far the biggest microphone here. It's yeah, there's no other way to describe it. It's just big compared to the others. Now it is the only one to have two 3.5mm ports. One of them is a line out for the microphone, and the other is a headphone jack. So that's something in the MOVO's favour. Now I did get this MOVO as part of a vlogging kit, which I am also reviewing at the moment as well. So I wouldn't expect a microphone that came part of a vlogging kit to perform poorly outdoors, but let's see. So I'm gonna step over this. I'm gonna change direction. Don't forget, really quickly. Oh, what's that? Right, I need to speak when I'm doing this. Just keep speaking. I'm changing direction, but even if I forget to speak, you should still hear the wind coming in through the back. And finally, this is the Sairen VMQ-1. This is by far the smallest and the lightest microphone here. It's the only one to not have that Rycote Lyre technology built into the shock mount, but because it's so light, the microphone doesn't appear to be bouncing around almost at all. And yeah, everything just feels smaller, cheaper and lighter about the Sairen. But let's see how it's going to perform. The windsock's definitely tighter than the MOVOs anyway, and I do wish it was a bit windier. Well, just me walking around should expose any sort of gaps in the back of the windsock. And if you are going to be vlogging outdoors, if you want to be facing the winds, then you're probably not going to be looking at a budget microphone. I don't know, but having said that, as I said, the Wavo did do really well. If you check out my review of the JOBY GorillaPod mobile vlogging kit, you'll see just how well it does when I'm by the sea, with that really strong sea breeze just coming in. I say sea breeze, it's a sea wind, almost like a gale, and the crashing waves. Anyway, I'm just making up stuff to say so I can keep talking for the test. So this is a Sairen VMQ-1. So for me there, the JOBY and the Sairen were the winners because the wing guards didn't let in any air whatsoever, whereas the Rhodes and the MOVOs did. In fairness, it was only very slightly when I was quickly changing direction and going up and down on the log. But imagine how they would perform if it was an actual windy day. But apart from that, I thought they all sounded great. The shock mounts performed really well. There was no vibrations or glitches or errors or anything like that caused by any vibrations to the shock mount or the cables. But things got very interesting when I switched over to my iPhone. The Rode sounded good, but its levels were like up here the whole time, like close to clipping, as you can see. And it was let down again by its loose wind guard. As if I'm filming my travel vlog, just step over some logs, onto some logs. Now the weak link here might be the adapter that I need to use, and the poor JOBY, that experienced a real buzz of a glitch, which let down an overall good performance. These phones are so great for walking around and vlogging with. They're so much lighter, so much smaller, so much more discreet. So yeah, that'd be great. So like I said, I've already tested out the JOBY quite thoroughly in the hills of Devon in the south of England, and so I know how it how it performs, I know how it can perform, I know what its weaknesses are, so I'm expecting some audio glitches here when I'm doing this sort of stuff. But yeah, if you want like the wind to not get in the back, then the MOVO's floppy wind guard continued to let in air, and it also physically appeared in the shot. So this is the MOVO VXR-10 Pro. Again, really long cable, just like the JOBY. Whoa! That dog came out of nowhere and frightened me. Jesus. So I'm keeping that in the video. Cable is just resting on my hand. While the Sairen was perfect. No complaints whatsoever. So yeah, just walking around. Let's do the usual spinning. So yeah, this is the one without the Rycote Lyre. This is the one with the cheapest feeling cable, the smallest cable, and it's only £5 cheaper than the MOVO. Let's see how it actually performs in the real world. So up on our log, down from the log. Badoo's walking around, making my travel vlog. Oh look, some logs, walking down, fellow humans walking around in the woods. So what happened to the JOBY? It's supposed to be Mr. Rugged outdoors, right? Well, as we've heard, it can sound great on the mirrorless camera, so it must be something to do with the phone. It's either the TRRS cable that you have to use to connect it to your phone, or it's the adapter that you have to use, or that I have to use anyway, to connect it to my iPhone. So you might not have to use one. If you have a phone with a headphone jack, then you'll be just fine. But me as an iPhone user, I have to buy one of these adapters. Now this is Apple's own. It costs £9.99 and it's extremely delicate. So my best guess would be, because this didn't affect the other microphones in the same way, guessing it's one of those two things. Speaking of the TRRS cable, I'll just quickly go into the difference between that and the TRRS cable. So this is the Rhodes TRS, which is this one, to the TRRS, which is this one on the other side. And the way you tell the difference is because the TRRS has got more of these black insulation rings, or insulator rings. So you think more R's, more rings. So TRRS has more rings, and you think you have to plug in the TRRS side to your phone. Phones ring, rings, TRRS. You get the idea. I think it's quite easy to remember once you get your head around it, but you have to make sure that you use the right cable, because if you don't, you won't get away with it. You'll just get no audio whatsoever. We've done it. Well, I've done it a lot. That's how I know. So which do I think is best? Well, if you're recording in here like this, then the Rode VideoMicro is the best. And in here, the quality of the shock mount and the wind guard and how loose the wind guard is don't really matter. It's all about pure sound quality. And as you've heard, the Rode just has that deeper, that fuller sound, and it didn't pick up that electronic hum as much either. But if you do want to save yourself some money, then the MOVO or the Sairen VMQ-1 would be great alternatives. And to be honest, I wouldn't be upset if the Rode broke tomorrow and I had to use either one of those other two, then that's fine. But the JOBY for me was just too sensitive. You could hear that self-hiss. It's if you go back and watch the section where I'm in the blue polo and I'm giving commentary on the mics, I'm using the JOBY in there, and you can just hear, if you wear headphones, you can just hear the self-hiss, which is a deal breaker for me. However, if I had a travel channel and I was filming outdoors like 95%, most of the time, then I would go with the Wavo Mobile if I was using only my A7 III. If I was using both my A7 III and my smartphone, then the only mic that didn't put a foot wrong during either of my outdoor tests was the Sairen VMQ-1. While it might not sound the best, most importantly, when you're outdoors, there was no air getting in the back of its wind guard. It didn't cause any glitches or clipping due to the cables moving around. And while it might not hold up in more extreme circumstances, with the money that you've saved on it, you could always just buy a better wind guard for it. So that Sairen, it may look and feel cheap, like, it turned out to be a little dark horse. So that is my 4 budget mics for YouTube comparison. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you want to buy any of the mics that you've seen today, or you want to buy the boom or the cables or anything like that, then please feel free to use my affiliate links in the description. Doesn't cost you anything extra and helps me out as well. So that's it. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, stay curious, and back around.